Hello there. This is Brandon Tilt, and you're tuned into On Healing. I'm your host, Brandon Tilt, and today I'm sitting at Departure Bay ferry terminal. We're pretty close to it. I'm actually now near the seaplane terminal. And I'm sitting here on a rainy day with a few hours where I'm just going to be waiting for the next ferry. I missed the one I was trying to catch, and I'm just hanging out near the water here on the island, on Vancouver Island, what we know as Vancouver Island. Pretty close to Nanaimo. In Nanaimo, actually, I guess. And I've just, as of last night, I finished my now 11th ayahuasca ceremony. And I'm feeling like this could be a space to help integrate pieces of that experience where I'm feeling prepared to share, or like it's a teaching that I can speak confidently to, but at the same time, this is just my experience of sitting in ceremonies over the last now 2 years, dipping my toe into these waters of ayahuasca and sitting with the Shipibo shamans and working on myself, just healing my mind and my body and my spirit, right? Working on healing so that I can show up for my family and my community, and maybe most importantly, myself. Understanding what that looks like. And it's not easy. It's not work that I think a lot of us often will do. Maybe once in a while, right? If we're feeling really defeated and overwhelmed in our life, maybe we're pushed to seek support, but I'm trying to learn more about creating consistency within my life, my spiritual life, my process of growth and healing, not having it feel like it's just like a retreat, or I have to go somewhere else to receive the healing and the teachings, and it's coming from somewhere outside of me. Whereas I want to acknowledge, the more I've been in these ceremonies, I'm definitely aware there's forces, there's guides, there's spirits, there's people. There are things outside of us that influence us, but our divinity is deep within us, deep within ourselves, deep within our spirit, and it lies within us. And there's a beautiful empowerment to that. You are the divine spark, made manifest. I am, you are, we are. And it's pretty beautiful to meet, some might call God, in a ceremony, I've been now more recently feeling like goddess, great mother. These feel more aligned than simply God. But to each is their own. And yeah, it goes beyond words, it goes beyond thoughts. Of course, prayers are important to speak at times. But the mind doesn't seem to really grasp what the heart fully understands. Anywho, yeah. There's a lot of flowery, poetic ways I can talk about the divinity and God and spirit. And maybe I will a little more, but I think it's okay to feel kind of defeated when it comes to ceremony. It's part of the surrender. It's part of the release. There's a kind of a futility to fighting the divine nature of this life. There's a resistance. There's always going to be some form of resistance, I've noticed, within myself at least. And I think it's normal that we're fighting change, especially from within. I certainly do. I've been fighting change my entire life. And it takes a lot of courage to embrace change, to embrace others, to embrace differences, to notice the darkness within you and not cast it away, and then maybe have more of an openness to understand the darkness in others. And I think that's just a simple truth, that courage is something that we can continue to bring forward in every way, right? It's not just about the courage to sit in the discomfort of a maloka. It comes and goes every day, every opportunity. And how we face it. How we face it can change. What we choose to do or not do as the result of the discomfort or the pain, how we choose to face it, that shifts. I feel that's shifted within me a lot. And it doesn't mean the pain goes away. Doesn't mean the discomfort goes away. Because I don't believe it's meant to. I don't believe we can expect it to. Right, let's just look to the broader sense with the shifting of consciousness that we're looking at. And what we're being required to embrace now, it's a lot. A lot of ways of thinking, a lot of ways of showing up in the world differently. Maybe not in ways that many of us want to show up or can show up. And it gets tough. It gets tough to show up in a time where Sometimes we feel like we lose hope. Right? Sometimes we do lose hope. Sometimes it feels like everything is just going to shit and we're going to die as a species, or maybe our life is going to be over in one way or another. And I want to encourage whoever's listening to embrace the many forms of death. Right? Embrace the ways there's a gentle invitation to the void. And that invitation to the void doesn't mean the end. Simply put, it's just the beginning of something new. And beginnings are beautiful. Beginnings are magical and expansive, but they can also be very messy and very chaotic, and there's an uncertainty that comes along with it. And it's not guaranteed. When you start something new, when you walk down a new path, when you discover a new layer of self, of who you are, there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee of your commitments, or there's no guarantee of stability. There might not be a guarantee of support. And I was going to say love, but you know what? I don't know if I believe that there's no guarantee of love. I think that is probably one of the only things that we can truly guarantee, because it comes in all the different forms, in all the different waves, from within, from around, from prayer, from, one would say, the Great Spirit, the Grandmother, the Great Mother, the Goddess, the Life Force. She's so potent. I don't know how many people are familiar with the term the pregnant void, and I'm sure it means many things to many people. I'm not even entirely sure I understand it. But I do believe the pregnant void is more directly experienced during a ceremony, like an ayahuasca ceremony, or maybe other types of ceremonies, where we notice how much exists in what we believed was previously believed was empty. And then we look and see, and it's just simply a void. Pregnant with life, pregnant with love, pregnant with, well, energy. What a beautiful and sort of confusing miracle. What a blissful idea. What a blissful concept. Kind of a dream, in my way of expressing that. It's kind of like a dream that we find, that we embrace. Nothingness, as if it were a very full and lively space of love, like a room full of our loved ones. If you could, if you would entertain this idea, maybe, right? consider the full room of people that you love. Consider that their love is something that you take with you, and it becomes a part of you, and it lives within you, and the energetic frequency goes undisturbed, and it continues to resonate. You could be in an empty place, a pregnant void, and you could fill it with so much love, so much care, so much compassion. Feels like a good dream. I'm trying to actively dream more. Dream something, like really. So for whoever's listening, are you connected with your vision that is your dream? Your purpose, maybe has nothing to do with that idea of purpose. I don't want to use that word. It feels a little too, I guess, like loaded. But your dream, you know what that is. Carl Jung described this as when you were a child, it was the first thing that you decided you wanted to be. Maybe you didn't know how to do it. Or maybe the version of that dream shifted, but the dream remains the same. The idea is still the same. Maybe it's a different job, or it looks different now that you're however old than when you were, say, 4 or 5, or maybe a little older. But that childhood dream was the expression of your higher self, according to Jung. According to these inner schooling art therapy exercises I did a while ago, based in Jung's teachings, there's a way that we lost contact with the higher self when we gave up on our dream, or when someone told us we couldn't be something and we lost connection to that dream. And I feel like it's such a heartbreaking disconnect from the sacred when we no longer have a dream. And I think it's one thing to pursue the dream, of course, but do you have a dream? A vision? It can be whatever you need it to be. It can be whatever expression of that divine spark that your higher self began to dream. But have that dream. Remember who you are. Remember what you're working towards. And allow your heart to guide you. Truly guide you. I know this wasn't really about the ceremonies or the experiences I've been having over the last couple of days, and this wasn't really meant to be that. This is just me reflecting on what I'm building and where I'm going, and capturing this energy, this beautiful raw energy. So thank you for joining me today. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care for now. Bye.
Are you making space for your inner healer to blossom? Are you making space for that self, that deeper sense of self to shine through? If you'd be interested in working with me one-on-one, please reach out through featheroflightcounseling@outlook.com. Aside from that, go out to your favorite nature spot and pray for me, and I will pray for you. And a heartfelt thank you for being a friend. Take care.